Welcome to Golden Mastermind Seminars Radio with your host, Jeffery Combs.
Jeffery Combs. It is 2 Tuesday. Good to be here with you on a beautiful Tuesday afternoon in beautiful Central California. Got the wild hair look today, so breathe, release, and let go. Finished back-to-back coaching sessions all morning. 10 minutes in the steam room and locked and loaded, ready to go here on 2 Tuesday. Good to be here with you. See, what would this color be? A level of purple, not a cranberry, but a purple. So Amber, good to see you this afternoon. Sarah, good to see you. Jared, good to see you this afternoon with a haircut and a new polo. So good to be here with you. Danielle Vaughn, good to see you here this afternoon. The topic for today's Facebook Live is a very, very near and dear topic to me. It is called the deserve factor. So that is it. So the deserve factor, DESERVE, deserve. Maroon, there you go. Thank you, Aaron. You are crushing it. So maroon is the color. Maroon and gold. There we go. Maroon, gold, black, and silver. Four good colors that come together that form the trifecta of Golden Mastermind Seminars Incorporated. Josh Waxman, good to see you this afternoon. As always, good to have you here. Josh, the attendance for Millionaire Blueprint is over 35. And that does not include most of your teammates. So we're going to have a fabulous event. Josh, say hello to Andea Ray. Aaron, say hello to Andea. Jared, say hello to Andea. Andea will be attending Millionaire Blueprint. Zarek, good to see you this morning or this afternoon. Good to see all of you here. So we're going to move into the topic for today's Facebook Live. Sophia, good to see you today. Yuritsa, always good to see you here this afternoon. So here's our topic for today. DESERVE, the deserve factor. I started using the word factor back in, the late 90s. So Nicole, good to see you this afternoon. Sophia, we have a full house here this afternoon. Andrea said she will be there, excited to meet all of you. Robert Kempen will be there. Robert, good to see you. Robert has seen Josh speak before, so good to see you. So here we go. Let's move into our topic for today. The deserve factor. Deserve comes from the Latin word deservie, day of service. It means to be of service. It is not serving, it is serve us. In free enterprise, you don't get paid for serving. That's what you do as a waiter or waitress. You get paid for service. And when you're in your service, you also can raise your value ladder. For those of you who may remember Arthur Tubman, Josh, you may have remembered Arthur Tubman, rockstar internet marketer, spoke at several of my events around 2010 with Corey Shanes in that era of Philadelphia. Spoke at many of my events. He was a rock star internet marketer back in the day, and the internet marketers used to use that term a lot, your value ladder. And these were the nomad internet marketers who were living in Phuket, Austin, Texas, and other places around the globe on that 4-hour work week that they were teaching. And so the value ladder means you increase your value because you deserve it. And so your value is what you place upon yourself. But if you have no value, low self-esteem, then the message that you are transmuting into the universe becomes an electromagnetic signature. That electromagnetic signature says, I am not good enough. And you are casting you're casting your burden into the universe. And the other side of that is you want to cast the burden of not being good enough into the universe. You're like tossing it out instead of tossing out this content. So that content, so frequencies meet frequencies. And in understanding attraction, when your frequency is very low, you're transmuting from low level transmutational energy of not being good enough. You're stating, I don't deserve it. And so that is a mixed message. And so then there's several forms of this. So it's like, please join me, but don't. I'm not sure if I deserve it. Please join my business, but I'm in fight or flight. Please take a look at my business and then not show up so that I can feel ghosted, gaslighted, rejected, and or abandoned because I don't deserve it. Now, the lack of your ability to deserve is going to be a byproduct of 4 levels of trauma: generational trauma, sexual trauma, physical trauma, and emotional trauma. Any 1, 2, 3, 4 of those traumas coming together to form a neurological network of neurons that form your feelings will keep you in anxiety, fear, and doubt. When you're in anxiety, fear, and specifically doubt, you're doubting if you're good enough, doubting if you can succeed. You're just running the table on doubt. And then underneath that all is if you have any entitlement issues, you feel entitled to success, and then you're a brooder, a pouter, and you're sensitive and defensive, and that you want recognition and the rewards, but you haven't really done the effort. You haven't built a team. You haven't been in the trenches. You haven't really owned a business. And so you're entitled. You think you should be walking the stage, getting the check. You have your eye on the prize, but your energy is not directed at the results. And so this affects most of the planet. If this is you, today is a good day for you to look at your character defects. Own the fact that this is where you are, and where you are is a byproduct of the trauma that your body still holds on to. You don't look at faults, you look at facts. You don't fault other people, and you don't fault the people who traumatized you. You begin to forgive, and you move into higher levels of forgiveness, which raises your deserve factor. As you begin to forgive yourself and forgive others, you're raising your emotional vibration, because that means you have the courage to be honest. If you do not have the courage to be honest with yourself, then you will stay in denial. And as long as you're in denial, then you will seek attention, you will create conflict, you will put yourself in a position to get traumatized, called out, selectively ganged up on, or whatever the situation is, to fulfill your feelings, because you don't deserve it. And that's what a narcissist does. A narcissist takes their trauma and casts it on other people, and their trauma becomes their hate. And so they're a duality. They live in the charm and hate world. And if you've been groomed by one of these people or raised by one of these people, your deserve factor is going to have suffered from it. And so it's very important that you are honest with yourself. You understand the situation for what it is. And you're in the process of letting go of being a victim, and you're moving into higher levels of production. Higher levels of production is what gets you attention. If you want attention, it comes from production, not because you're a nice person or you think you're a good person. And if you've done what society said and you climbed the ladder and you got the college degree, well, that doesn't entitle you anything other than a sheepskin, and that's what you get for it. But when you step into free enterprise and business, it's also based on merit. And the merit is your production. You get paid for production. You don't get paid for time. You don't get paid for time served. You don't get paid for time spent. You don't get paid for being a nice person, a good person. What you get paid for are results. And if you're not results-oriented, results-driven, then you're going to continue to be in that place called procrastination. And then if you're a brooding pouter who is sensitive and defensive, your lower self-ego will find ways to be disappointed. You will set other people up to fulfill your own neurochemical craving to be a victim. It's a common commonality. I coach it 7 days a week. And so I'm one of those guys that actually played high school sports. I'm not one of those guys that said, well, the coach sucked, so I quit. I played 4 years, 4 sports, 16 letters, 2 years in college. What that taught me was to suit up and show up. And I learned quickly that the way I practiced is the way I played in a game. Because big-time players that show up in big-time games are big-time practice players. And if you can set your ass in the chair, AIC, and you can produce without complaining, causing drama, causing chaos, and you're not focused on getting attention, you're focused on results, and you're focused on building a team. Because it's the team that you build that will be in a direct reflection for your outcome. The team of clients and customers that you build, the network. I mean, my network of people continue to refer me clients. Clients show up from years ago. A woman reached out to me today that I coached in 1998. Her and her sister. I coached her in 1998, and she attended the very first event that I spoke at in Acapulco, Mexico in October of 1998. She just sent me a message. It's in my inbox right there. So that's called service, and that's value. And that comes from you pouring your deserve factor into the universe. When you're good enough, you're able to be a coach. When you're good enough, you're able to be a leader. When you're good enough, you're able to lead by example. When you're not good enough, you'll avoid the responsibility of it. And then your ego, lower self, will continue to seek attention to stay in trauma, drama, and chaos. That's your payoff. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, 4 days ago, I did a video in a lime green shirt. That's one of my best videos I've ever done. It's called The Payoff. If you can find it on Instagram, find it. It was on Reel on Facebook, and it's now gone. But see if you can find it on Instagram. Download it and keep it. It's one of my best. It's called The Payoff. And when you're in a payoff, what you deserve is you deserve conflict. That's what you keep recreating over and over. When you continue to perpetuate the same set of feelings, the attention you get is the negative attention, because here's the key breakthrough on this. So when you deserve to be traumatized, when you deserve to be neglected, when you deserve to be abandoned and rejected, now this is all your ego. Your ego is creating this. The tension you get is negative attention, because bad love is better than no love. And so when you understand that breakthrough right there, and you begin to step into your power, and you begin to step into rigorous honesty, and you take a look at yourself from an objective perspective, without being critical of yourself or being critical of others, you're going to step into your power, because you will no longer be the mind-body connection to the events that shape the feelings. And I've been teaching this for 27 years. So where can you find me 6-7 days a week? Right here. I'm at my desk in my office. And every time you see me do a Tuesday Zoom or Tuesday call, right behind me are those pictures. Because consistently, I sit right here. This is called a desk, and that's a chair, and my ass is in it. That's an acronym I created multiple years ago, ass and chair. It's a metaphor for a stationary place to create your enterprise. It's a metaphor for a stationary place to build a component of your business. Now, you're definitely entitled to go do seminars, events, rallies, conventions, whatever it is you do, but a large percent of your time should be dedicated to a place that's comfortable, that's feng shui to your feelings, so that it has the energy, the flow to it, and the charisma around it, that you're comfortable in being able to build your enterprise, your empire right here, because you deserve to. You deserve to take the 30-second commute. The 30-second commute is your bedroom to your boardroom. So mine is, you go down the hall a little ways, you turn a corner, you go up a set of stairs, and my master bedroom is right there with a bathroom in it. So it takes me about 15 seconds maximum to make that commute and turn my bed down. And when I get up, I put that bed back, and that's the only time I'm in that bedroom. 90% of my time I'm in my kitchen and in my office. So that's about a 10-second commute down the hallway. I walk around my block once a day. It's 4 blocks. I go down to my basement where I have a gym. I'm there for half an hour every day. But most of my time is devoted to honing my craft. This is how much of my time is devoted to trauma, drama, chaos, and conflict. This is how much I seek attention. This is how many times I walk the stage at this point in my life. These are the rewards and recognition I get from companies and people outside my influence, because my results are good enough and because I'm good enough. When your results are good enough because you're good enough, you don't require all this attention and all this fluff and all these shiny objects that your ego thinks it requires, because when you come from service and value, your customers are who give you recognition. When you come from service and value, it's your teammates who will give you recognition. You don't require trophies and awards and medals for running marathons and 5Ks. I was a real track star. I really ran track. And right over there is a picture of me in the state track meet. So I'm not one of those marathon runners. I was a real track star. I don't require proving anything anymore. I don't play pickup basketball. I don't play racquetball anymore. I don't snow ski. And people go, well, don't you ever have fun? Fuck, dude, I own a business. Business is inspiring, but business requires attention to details. When people criticize you for owning a business, just look at them and go, yo, dude, I'm just considering the source. Have you ever owned a business? Have you ever had a payroll? Do you know what that's like to have a payroll? Do you know what it's like to pay quarterly taxes? If you don't, then shut the fuck up. Don't criticize me. Look in the mirror, dude, because I'm doing what I'm doing to take care of my clients and my customers, because they deserve my attention. They deserve my full attention. They deserve me to be focused on them, not on someone else. They deserve me to be my best self, and so do your customers, so do your clients, and so do your teammates. Your teammates do not want to hear you whine, complain, and if you have challenges, you go up, you never go down. And if you're an instigator, if you instigate challenges, then you're just passing that around. You got to find what's really going to serve you in that service and value to be your best leader, because that's what allows you to rank advance. This is what allows you to this is what allows you to be a leader and a leader grower. Man, I never took my problems to my teammates. That's cancer. That's spelled LOSER. I mean, when you take your problems to your teammates, you just sabotage your team. When you're a cancer in a team, they will find a way to get you out. I've built organizations in the thousands multiple times because I've been multiple failures. I had my first 1,000-person organization. I got up to $14,900 a month, and the company changed the pay plan. I started over. I went to a company called Nutrition for Life. Kevin Trudeau was there. Unfortunately, Kevin Trudeau was in one of his peaks where the government was after him. They were calling him a domestic terrorist. We had a product called Shark Cartilage that was absolutely cutting-edge product that actually had cancer results. Well, we got taken out. That was failure number 2. Failure number 3 was the telecommunication industry. I got in behind Excel Communication. I was late, so I got on the tail end of the telecommunication industry. ACN and Excel Communication already come and went, and so I joined a third tier telecommunication company, and I sold out. This man that I knew gave me a $10,000 signing bonus. I went to Dallas, Texas, and later I found out the only reason I went to Dallas, Texas was to assist this young man to get sober. Because when I left $100,000 in debt, but I left a legacy with David Brennan, because I took David to his first AA meeting, October 23rd, 1995. David was my homie, and he was my partner in that business, and I ended up $100,000 in debt from that business, but David got sober for it. So does David owe me $100,000? Of course not. David became my first millionaire mentor in 2002. David moved out here, and he gave me 2 years of service as I was going through some challenges in my life. And so, I mean, there's called DUES, dues. Dues equal service. And so the dues that you pay are the service that you create. That's where you learn your service, by paying your dues. And you got to be willing to pay the price without knowing the cost. The deserve factor, Latin, D-E-S-E-R-V-E. Deserve means day of service, deservee. I learned this from the great Frederick Lehrman when I was studying his content back in 1996 called Prosperity Consciousness. I didn't even know what that meant. I thought prosperity meant money. Actually, prosperity in Latin means prospero, or to flow. So that's what you want to be. So your deserve factor will be enhanced by your ability to neutralize challenges, by letting go of the situations. You're going to have clients and customers that lie to you. You'll have teammates that check out. They go into the witness protection program. You'll have people who will try to steal your organization. You'll have people who will try to undermine you. You'll encounter it all, and you will withstand it because you're a woman and a man of character. You deserve the best, and you will be your best. When you deserve the best, and you'll be your best, you will be able to neutralize other people's challenges. You don't neutralize them by being in conflict. You neutralize them by letting them go. When you have people that cause you challenges, the last thing you do is get in the ring with them. The first thing you do is ask yourself, how do I neutralize the situation? You never take your enemy head on. You always take your enemy on from the side. Don't ever underestimate your enemy, because they underestimate you. They have no idea how much character you have. So when you have a cancer in your team or a narcissist in your circle of influence, you don't take them on. You find ways to get rid of them. You do that by ignoring them, neutralizing them, being non-attached to them. You do whatever you have to do to neutralize the situation so you can focus on your highest good, that is service. The two situations that you devote your energy to is service and value. That's what will allow you to raise your value, and so you can command more in free enterprise. If you want to have a 6-figure month in free enterprise, then you have to have a 6-figure monthly mindset. And that means that you have a vision that you can see that outcome. You have a belief that you believe you can create that. You have the ability to attract the teammates that create the compounded effect. You have the ability to neutralize other people's trauma and drama. This is why you get paid big money, because it takes big time skills. You have to be a big time player to man a payroll, to do QuickBooks, once you own an S corporation, a C corporation, a real LLC, once you own a real LLC, a real business, what it means is you have a real responsibility. My air conditioner in my house went out last night. I called my assistant. He was over here putting electrical tape. This is my homeboy Mike. He was over at my house until 11 o'clock, and after 9 o'clock, I was doing it with him. And he was over here this morning, and I was doing it in between a call. I mean, you have to be so skilled. Like these people are like, I want to own multiple properties. Ask Rick Stout. Dude, I've owned multiple properties. I own commercial properties. I've owned residential properties. I've sold properties. I've lost my ass in real estate. I mean, so what? I mean, but I've started over countless times. If you're going to own real estate, you have to have you have to have contracting skills. You can't just own real estate and not know how to be a contractor. You have to have multiple skills because you have to fix up multiple things that happen. Robert Kempen is a top-tier real estate educational coach. He's on a call right now. Robert Kempen, he sells top-tier real estate education. Robert, Kempen. Robert, go ahead and put your website there. Let people know who you are. He's also a cash flow coach. Robert's my homeboy from California. He's holding it down the fort. He's a patriot down there in Orange County, California. He's my brother from another mother. Rick Stout, you deserve to know Robert. He's a good man. Rick Stout's my real estate professional in Florida. He absolutely crushes real estate with his wife, Amber. His wife, Amber, is a mortgage professional, and he's a big-time player, real estate investor, real estate agent, well on his way to 7 figures. But he did not get there overnight. I was coaching Rick when Rick was challenged. Rick was upside down, just like I was. He was traveling all over the United States trying to sell with leads that sucked. I mean, I've been there before. But he adapted quickly, adjusted quickly, and moved into real estate because he's a big-time player and knows how to show up in a big-time game. And I mean, you can all do this. Every one of you can be and do this. But first of all, here's the key steps to being able to change the energy. First of all, you have to believe you deserve it. If you don't believe that you deserve success, your ego will find ways to sabotage it. When you understand that key component, that sabotage is a key component of your identity, and that you have multiple sabotages in your past, you will begin to address them now. Secondly, you have to understand the results come from production. They don't come from any other place of production. And until you grasp that, until you can be focused on production, you can sit around all you want. You can read all the books you want. You can watch the podcast and the Zooms. But if you don't know how to prospect in free enterprise, just mail it in, pack it in, get a job, wait tables, because you won't make it. And you can't have these stories about what people are going to think, what they're going to say, because if you can't sell, you can't cut it. I mean, this is, in the gray world, it just comes down to this. Sales is the highest paid profession in the world. It does not require a PhD, not even a public high school diploma, play on words. So if you can't sell, you can't cut it. This is, in this gray world, it's black and white. And you don't have to be talented to sell, but what you have to do is you have to have listening skills. You have to be attention skills. You have to have communication skills. So Rick and Robert, I'm going to connect the two of you. The two of you connect. So Rick said and Robert, the two of you connect. You deserve to connect with each other. The deserve factor means there's love that flows there. It means you deserve it. So if you're going to be in free enterprise, you're going to have to one day be a leader. So you'll have to learn those leadership skills. Leadership is influence. Leadership is taught. Leadership can be learned. And leadership, so there are born leaders and there are developed leaders. All of you have leadership capability within you. But if your story continues to perpetuate you're not good enough, then you will not cross the bridge. I've been doing metaphors on crossing the bridge. So the bridge of consciousness is courage. You require the courage to be an entrepreneur. Because if you're not an entrepreneur, you're not going to make it in today's world. You'll just trade time for money, and then you're going to get jabbed because you're going to have to get the social credit score before everyone else. And if you want to hold out as long as you possibly can, it's because you're an entrepreneur in free enterprise and you have more options. You have almost zero options when you trade time for money. When you create money, you have much much more options. Your ability to be an entrepreneur is in direct reflection with your ability to be creative, innovative, be in the flow, be sales and marketing oriented. If you want to be, and if you want to have multiple streams of income, then you have to have contracting skills, vision skills. You have to know how to wire a house. You have to know basics, how engines work. I mean, I was downstairs. I had so much dust on me last night. It was amazing. But that's what I'm a homeowner. I mean, I have put over $2 million worth of my money into multiple homes and rehabbing. I mean, actually more like 4 or 5 million in rehabbing, and a large percent of it I did myself. I don't know how to do concrete, but I conceptually understand it. I know how to read a bid. I mean, you have to have skills in free enterprise, and they don't come from sitting on your ass. They come from having your ass in a chair, learning how to create the money. Once you learn how to create the money, then you learn the other skills that are required to be and stay in free enterprise in a relaxed body. My name is Jeffery Combs, president and founder of Golden Mastermind Seminars Incorporated. For those of you who've known me for many years, remember my hair used to be brown? Well, now it's silver. That means there's snow on the roof, but there's fire in my furnace. So if you're here on today's afternoon Facebook Live and you have considered coaching with me, reach out to me, send me a message in my inbox. If you're a former client, existing client, you'd like to find out more about my one-on-one coaching or my coaching values, or you're brand new to my content, thank you, Sophia. Sophia, my young entrepreneur. So I want to thank all, Diane Hunt. So there's a few people I want to really recognize here with me, been with me for years. Robert Kempen's been with me for years. Rick Stout's been with me for years. Josh Waxman's been with me for years. Diane Hunt's been with me for years. So here's the 10-year club. 10-year club, Rick Stout, Diane Hunt, and Josh Waxman. All of them have been with me for 10 years. That's the trifecta of today's Facebook Live. Robert Kempton gets an extra hug and a high five right here. He can give me a fist tap. Beth Blackmore gets a fist tap. She's been with me a number of years. Sophia Jade and her mom have been with me for over 10 years. Sophia was coming to my events when she was 10 years old. Sherry James on today's Facebook Live. Sherry gets a fist five with me. Sherry's been with me almost 10 years. Her son Joshua is my client. Sherry goes back in the day with me back to 2015. Kimberly Todd, you get a fist five from me, baby. Kimberly Todd goes way back. Kimberly Todd goes back like way back in the 2000s, back when Dr. Joe Dispenza was speaking with me in LA and John Assaraf. And I believe Kimberly was at some of those events way back. Kimberly goes with me back to around 2002, 3, 4, and 5 in Los Angeles. And Kimberly consistently edifies me on Facebook Live. So, Robert, you're almost there, baby. You're almost a 10-year club. Josiah, okay, so I want a couple of young people in today's Facebook Live. Sophia Jade, Josiah Fellaini. Josiah's about to break 16. Right there, Josiah. Josiah holds the record once held by Josh Waxman. Josiah is the youngest client to ever hire me with his own money. He hired me when he was 15 years old. He is the son of Scott Fellaini. Scott, and it's amazing that he hired me when he was 15 years old, not with his mommy and daddy's money, with his own money that he saved by bussing tables and washing dishes. Give Josiah a fist five right there, baby. So thank you. And some of you, I'm deeply honored to be your coach here this afternoon. I'm going to breathe some love into you. You deserve to receive it all. Breathe, release, and let go. Good afternoon, everyone.